everybody to Stay Tuned Sports. I'm your boy King. That right over there is your good friend Jimbo. We are here every single Wednesday. We've been good with that. We've been good. Even if it's just one of us, we've been good. Sometimes it's just you. Let's face facts. Most times, if there's one person here, it's usually Jimbo. I rarely am the one that's pulling up the circus tent here, as it were. But we've been doing pretty well. ELS in the chat, by the way. Going to get to all that. Let you know. Chat is open if you want to go in there. Say hi, say hello, say how you doing. Man, I haven't had enough coffee yet today. But yes, indeed. This is Stay Tuned Sports. As I mentioned, King, Jimbo right over there. And if you want to help us out, and I know this is very early. I do this every show. We get the plugs out of the way, and then we talk about sports. Plugs. Help us out for free. Like, share, subscribe. 3 very easy things you can do. Very free for you to do. Costs you nothing. You do those 3 things. Helps us out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Obviously, the liking and the subscribing, if you're new here and are not subscribed, helps us out tremendously. And if you then share us around, that means more people that can come and hit the like button and subscribe button, and it helps us out even more. It's a, it's a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah.
You got to help us out though. Yeah. So thank you very much for that. Also, if you want to help us out in a little bit more tangible way, that's maybe not as free, but it's generous and it's nice. We have a link for our donation station and our merch store in both the chat, which I said was open before. You can go say hi to ELS, who's in there right now. We'll probably be joined by a couple others. I'm imagining Hamster's going to jump in there at some point, especially to kind of, fuck with you about your racing on Friday. So yes, we have that in the chat. It is also in the description below this video. You can hit on that donation station, donate whatever you'd like to. We will love and accept anything. If you want to get on a ticker, as you're seeing go by just now, right down there, Pecan, leader in the clubhouse with $35 donated to us. You want to beat that number, you can get your name in the ticker. Thank you so very much. And of course, we also have the merch store. Hold on. Where is it? Did I lose it? I lost it. Stay Tuned Sports Coffee. It's still there in the merch store. You can go get it right now. We also have mugs, obviously hoodies, t-shirts, banners, all kinds of stuff, new stuff happening all the time. So you can go grab that right now. More flavors coming soon. I might do like a French vanilla, like it's a French roast or something. I might do something with your unfathomable hatred of the French Canadians. Maybe I'll do a little joke with that, as this is the Danny Dimes blend. Maybe we'll have something like a Frenchy Quebecois pun. Maybe that'll be something we work on. I don't know. Either way, go visit the merch store. Go donate to us if you can, if you're able, if it's possible for you to do. Go ahead and do that for us. Now, quickly just going back to the chat here, ELS wants to know, Jimbo, as a NASCAR fan, your racing skills are really good? Is that what he's trying to say?
I think that's what he's trying to say.
I think that's what he's trying to say in there. I think he's trying to say that's good. Yeah, it's just... So his finger must have slipped and just hit the asterisk 4 times. I don't know. Anyway, big news. The big news out of today. George Pickens. He's going on down to Dallas. Dallas went ahead and traded for a 3rd rounder. And I think they're also swapping late round picks. Yeah. So it really, if you want to look at it, it's George Pickens for a 3rd rounder. When you heard this news, I first broke it to you this morning. You said, "What sources?
Well,
this is insane. What kind of sources are saying?" I've seen nothing of the sort. And which I then told you like it was Rappaport, Pelissaro, Schefter, like all of them. It was like, oh yeah, no, okay, then that's happening. I guess that's going to be a thing there. Initial thoughts when you found out that not only was this real, but it was happening. Initial thoughts on the deal.
So not taking into consideration the draft compensation, all that stuff, I think it's a good thing for Pittsburgh, and I'm gonna have my popcorn ready for Dallas.
Okay.
George Pickens. He's a diva. If he doesn't get the ball, he cries.
What wide receiver isn't though? And that's the argument. First of all, I hate that you're gonna make me argue for Cowboys here, but what wide receiver isn't? They have CD Lamb down there. Guess what? He's a bit of a diva. You're not a wide receiver unless you're. Now, here's the thing. I don't think he's so much a diva as he is sometimes a violent liability on the field. Sometimes he just starts hauling off on motherfuckers. Okay, like that's something we might have to talk about. But you never know. Jerry's like, I like that fire and spirit in him. He's got that good stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, but this idea that he's a diva, so I don't know if it's gonna work. Every fucking receiver's a diva. Every receiver, every good receiver, let me say that, is a diva.
Cooper Kupp isn't a diva. You don't ever hear him stop following his team on social medias or doing sit-ups in the driveway.
No, but I guarantee you he gets in that huddle every time and says, fuck, come on, Matt, I'm open. Every play I'm open. Just throw it to me. I'm open. That's every receiver. Every good receiver.
He's smart. He's making sure it's not showing up on the camera.
You don't know, but again, so to you, then the diva is as if it's caught on camera, then it's a diva. If he's being a diva, but nobody sees it, then it's fine.
Yeah. Because I agree that if you're not asking for the ball or if you're not yelling for the ball, then you're playing the wrong.
You're playing the wrong sport. Absolutely.
But when you're Donovan McNabb and T.O., the blow up between them on the field, on the sideline there, yelling and screaming, like, that's not good because then everybody, it just snowballs. It just snowballs the feeling, the negativity, it just. And Pickens, I didn't notice this until this trade went through. I thought he was actually like a top 5-10 receiver. He's in 3 years. He only had a 1,000-yard season. I know we're not big.
All right, but look at again. Let's look at his quarterbacks.
And that's what I thought too. I was like, okay, first year he had I think 800 or 900 yards receiving, but that was Matt Canada, I believe it was. Second year, I think they had somebody else. I think they canned Canada. And then the last year was Arthur Smith, who's a better offense coordinator than Matt Canada, and still only got.
I'm not. Listen, considering the offensive situation that has been in Pittsburgh for the last 3 to 5 years, I am not holding that against you. In my opinion, I do think talent-wise, George Pickens is a top receiver in the NFL. He is. Even if the numbers aren't there, the numbers aren't there for other extraneous reasons. Yeah. It's not for his lack of talent. It's not for his lack of ability. So there's that. Now, also, here's the thing. You're putting him in Dallas. You're putting him where he's going to be the wide receiver 2, with CeeDee Lamb being 1. So you have a chance of him getting more opportunities to be open, to make plays. Like I said, if you have Dak having that ability, you have Dak the ability of having CeeDee Lamb and now George Pickens on that side, the Dallas offense looks better. Again, on paper, the Dallas offense looks better than what it did last season.
Yeah.
And again, this is something that the Dallas fans were upset. Like, they wanted to get Golden in the draft because they were like desperate. We need a receiver. We need a receiver. We need a wide receiver. We only have CeeDee Lamb. He needs somebody else on the other side. We need a wide receiver. We need a wide receiver. They got a wide receiver. So that and a good one. Now, he is temperamental. He is a diva. He can be a liability sometimes if he decides to start swinging on a motherfucker on the field, which we've seen, it comes with the attitude problems and everything like that, which, again, is nothing new in Dallas either. Yeah. So you kind of almost figure, like, it's the spot for that. Like, it does feel like the spot. Now, ELS in the chat, he says that his first thoughts were that he understands the move, but did not expect Dallas to be the team that he went to. I understand. Like, I get that kind of thought originally, but especially because they still haven't paid Micah.
Yeah.
Like, you got to think about what are the Cowboys going to do? They've lost DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
And now, like you're talking about, if Micah decides to be like, listen, I saw Dak get paid, I saw CeeDee Lamb get paid, I'm seeing all these other people get paid. Where's my payday? And decides to be like, okay, well, now I got to play hardball. Like, that's going to put Dallas in a real tough situation. Like, that's going to be where you're going to start looking at that. But I think it was a move that Dallas had to make. They had to get a receiver. They had to. And now with knowing that Pickens is there, ELS brings up another great point in the chat, which, by the way, chat is open. You want to come in, say hi, say hello, say how you doing. Let one of your thoughts go through. We'll talk about it on here. Just like we're doing ELS here. And this was a point I was going to make, but ELS brought it up as well. With Pickens now being traded, he's gone to Dallas. That leaves Metcalf in Pittsburgh. Yeah. As like the wide receiver one, but really the only wide receiver. What does this maybe have an influence on? And I know we got to talk about it because everybody's got to talk about it until he fucking makes up his mind. Will this have any bearing on old Aaron Rodgers and whether or not he does come to Pittsburgh or decides to maybe go somewhere? I don't know where else is available at this point. Minnesota's passed on it now. The Saints seem to have who they have. The Browns have fucking half the state of Ohio as fucking quarterbacks in their room. Jesus Christ. I don't think there's anywhere else open or available for Aaron.
Yeah.
So it's either, to me, it feels like Pittsburgh or he's either taking a year off or retiring, one or the other. How do you think this affects him? Will it affect him? Will he now think twice about going to Pittsburgh? And if he does, boy, is Pittsburgh fucked.
I don't know if Pittsburgh's fucked.
Oh, they're fucked. They don't have a quarterback.
They have a potential one in
what? Will Howard?
I think so. They got to steal with him. And I'll keep that hot take for next year.
Next year? You mean this year, dude? We got previews. We've got 12 weeks of previews and all these. Like we got a bunch of shit to do coming up. So get ready. We got to start winding up, baby. We got to start winding up. We got a lot of shit coming up.
I just find it funny that when Pickens got traded, an hour, 2 hours later, the rumors started flying around about Alan Lazard, Pittsburgh trading for him to help make Rodgers make the decision a little bit easier.
But Lazard has come out and said, like, I'm not fucking leaving the Jets. I'm staying here.
Well, I mean, does he have no trade? I mean, we don't know, but does he have?
I don't know. I don't know right now. All I know is I saw one of his statements was like, he did the Leonardo DiCaprio from Wolf of Wall Street. He's like, I'm not fucking leaving.
Oh,
I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving.
But I don't think this really changes Rodgers' thinking. I still think he signs with Pittsburgh. I thought he would have signed like the day after, 2 days after the draft got over, not. But he's married now, so he's during the honeymoon phase.
Allegedly, we don't know what was going on in that picture. If he just mistakenly wore a ring on the finger you're not supposed to wear it on, or whatever. I don't know what's going on. Because what was the?
He's like Triple H. He does things for a reason, for long-term storytelling.
We'll see. I don't know. I know he said his girlfriend's name on McAfee's show like a couple months ago. I forget whatever her fucking name was at this point. So I wonder if he is it that? I mean, he was. Excuse me, I'm burping up coffee. He was with Shailene Woodley for quite a while. Yeah. A lot longer than he's been with this other girl, allegedly. So I don't know. Hey, Hamster, thank you so much for joining us in the chat here. You're just in time to talk about Aaron Rodgers' love life. I was trying to find out if he's married or stooping somebody else. We don't know. Hamster says 85 days. 85 days indeed until the Hall of Fame game starts coming our way here. Chargers and Lions, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I got the colors in my head. It's definitely the Lions. I remember the Lions.
I think it's
But
Chargers and Lions. I think it's
yeah,
Chargers and Lions.
all right.
So before dude, my ADHD brain is about to. I want to go off into like 17 different topics right now, but I got to stay focused.
Stay
We're
in the
talking
lane.
about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers and George Pickens and the Cowboys. Stay in your lane until we move on. It's very hard. This is why people do cocaine. Anyway, not that I do anymore. But yeah, like I feel like Aaron Rodgers is in between a rock, and ELS brings up a good point here. The only other squad that Rodgers or spot that Rodgers is in the running for is in the CFL. And I got to tell you, if I see Aaron Rodgers spinning the fucking football for the Edmonton Eskimos or the Toronto Argonauts or the Hamilton Tiger Cats, that'd be pretty fucking cool. I got to say, that'd be pretty awesome. If he just says like, I'm not doing any of this shit here. I'm going to go up there, play for a year, win myself a Grey Cup, and then maybe if something else opens down here, I'll come and say hi. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Yeah. Kind of pull maybe a Bill Belichick situation where everybody thought he was going to go to the NFL. He ends up going to UNC. By the way, what a fucking situation that is. Holy shit. It's just, it.
I don't know.
Dude, it is getting like
let the guy.
Days of our fucking. No. No, this is different. This is different. Like, this isn't even a case of like, hey, he's a much older gentleman with a much younger girl. And that's not the issue anymore. Now it's like, what is this girl do? Like, is she like straight up manipulating? Is she like a prostitute? I don't know what's going on. Allegedly. I'm saying allegedly. I'm saying this is what other people are saying. This is not what I said, Jordan. Please don't come and sue me. I don't have any money. But
I have a theory about it, but
dude,
you don't know how much longer.
We'll touch on that later, much how I'd like to do with her because she's kind of hot. But dude, wow. Like, just the things in life that you ever thought you'd see. Bill Belichick being manipulated by a 24-year-old girl to basically do her bidding and being CC'd on all the North Carolina stuff and basically running the UNC fucking social media and telling other, telling the interviewers, not talking about that. Not talking about that. Nope. Check. Nope. Not talking about that. Not talking about that. Nope. That one's done. Nope. Can't ask that question. No. What in the fuck is going on with Bill? Like I said, there's a serious concern now for Bill. Okay,
because because you're going.
I'm starting to go tangent. Sometimes you got to go tangent. Sometimes you do got to go tangent. Sometimes you do. I'm just saying. Okay, but anyway, yes. To your point,
Pickens thing. With this Pickens trade though, it feels like management in Pittsburgh is just cashing in the season and saying, you know what, we know we're going to fire Tomlin at the end of the year. Let's just see what we can do.
What? So Tomlin's just saying, "Fuck it."
They're not telling them, but behind closed doors.
But Tomlin's not a fucking moron. If he sees that if he's going to see the writing on the wall, he'll throw up the fucking double birds and say, "Fuck you, I'm gone."
I don't know.
I'll leave before you fucking fight. I'm not going to embarrass myself while you guys are fucking doing. No, I fully and 100% reject that opinion.
I don't know. It just like it does feel weird. Like I did text my sister because when you said about the Pickens trade.
Boy, she's not happy. I saw her social media post. She's like going back to bed.
So I texted her. I said, "Are you okay?" Laugh out loud, and she's like, "I just don't understand. They get us all excited that we got Metcalf, and then we trade Pickens away." And I'm like, "You might be better off."
That might be, and I'm not disagreeing. I think that might be an addition by subtraction. Yeah. From a locker room, attitude, atmosphere standpoint.
Yeah.
But again, is this going to be a situation kind of like Diggs, like Stephon Diggs, like where, first year, 2 years in a place, everything's hunky-dory. Hey, he's cool. Everybody's happy. We're all working great. And then after, the second half of the second year, going into the third year is when everything starts to fucking sour. I'm not getting the ball enough. I'm going to sit on the bench and not go into plays. I'm going to delete all the stuff from my Instagram. I'm going to do all that kind of stuff. So is this a case where you can get maybe a year or two, a good year or two out of Pickens before the wheels come off?
Well, Dallas, as of right now, only has a year with him.
Because of his rookie contract, right?
And good old Jerry Jones doesn't know Perkins' agent because it's the same agent.
Perkins? Again, Perkins?
Yeah, Perkins, yeah, Perkins. It's the twin.
Shitty breakfast. They're really just a microwave fucking breakfast place. That's terrible. And I'm sorry if anybody works at Perkins, but if you work at Perkins, you know it's shitty food. So I'm not telling you anything new. But however, I will say this. If Perkins wants to sponsor us, by far the best fast option for your breakfast is Perkins Family Restaurant. But until then, until they start giving me money, boy, Perkins is fucking terrible. That's all I'm going to say.
And then right next to Perkins is Pickens.
Easy Pickens.
Easy Pickens.
There's a throwback to anybody.
Michael Parsons has the same agent as Pickens, and that's the agent that Jerry Jones said, man, never heard of him. Never heard of that agent before. So we already taking shots at the agent. Not looking good.
So, ELS says, as a fellow Midwesterner, Perkins is fucking delicious. Oh, ELS, my dear sweet summer child, we got to get you to a Jersey diner. We got to get you to a Jersey diner as quickly as possible.
In his defense, probably the next diner is like 2 hours away from him. So
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, that's what you know what Perkins feels like? Perkins feels like a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox of a picture of a Xerox of what a diner's supposed to be. That's what Perkins feels like. That's what I mean. We got to get ELS over to the TikTok in Clifton, TikTok diner. Get them there. Any of the other diners here in Jersey, we got to get not the Bayonne diner. That place fucking sucks. It used to be good, but new owner, sucks. But yeah, we got to get him to a Jersey diner. Absolutely. Yeah. You get some of those. You get a nice Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwich. You get your omelets with the home fries and the pieces of bacon and stuff like that. You get your nice burger. Get a nice double bacon cheeseburger, deliciously made. Side of disco fries, man. You get the American cheese and gravy all over the French fries. You mix those up. Oh, my mouth is starting to water just thinking about it. Oh, we got to get you. Come on, ELS. Come on out to the East Coast. But yes, that's what Perkins feels like. Anyway, with Pickens, I think if this is going to be a rental, if it's a 1-year rental, it's a smart move. Considering, listen, even if Micah Parsons decides to be magnanimous and say, I'm going to wait and keep everything until the next off season to whether or not I work something out, or if I'm just going to say, fuck it, hit free agency. Whatever the case is, if Dallas is able to turn this into wins, into a deep playoff run, if they can get to the conference championship, it quiets a lot of detractors down. It quiets the fan base down. And you can then try to work on something from there. Now, again, if you get that far, but then Pickens is gone, and then Parsons is gone, and then, other pieces go off like that, and then you're back in the same boat. But if for just a year, you can kind of get that in, kind of go for hey, listen, fuck it. Just push all the chips and see what we can do this year with it. It may not be bad. The only problem with it, I'll say with this, is trying to do that now in an NFC East that has an absolute powerhouse in the Philadelphia Eagles and an up-and-coming powerhouse in the Washington football team of Redskin Commanders.
And don't forget,
No, listen. I'm stop. Stop it. We're gonna get to that a little bit later, but stop
Yeah.
it. But this is what I'm saying. Even if the Cowboys make a big leap this year in wins and how good they are, there's a better than good chance that they still end up third in the division.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I'm worried about. Hey, Hamster, how you doing? I forgot I said hi to Hamster before, but I just saw him again. I was like, oh, he's been quiet. I didn't know what he's doing. I think that's the only problem with trying to do this now, like trying to do the piecemeal kind of like, well, we can add a piece here and we can add a piece here, and maybe that'll be enough to push through. Not in this NFC East.
Yeah.
Because as we already saw last year, Washington is now only going to get better. They're starting to work on that defense, which was a bit, and even with that defense, they were able to get to the conference championship game.
Yeah.
That's nuts. And for the love of God, never get rid of Luvulu, because I just want to see that guy fucking fly. That was still some of the greatest shit. I just loved it because it was like we're already here. Why not? What are we gonna do? Like let's just try.
I learned something new.
Oh, what? That they can award a touchdown if you keep on committing the same penalties? Yeah. I've known that for a while. I've done that in a Madden game once or twice. So, yeah, no, it comes back to you. It does. But I would say that's the only hiccup with this kind of Cowboys plan now, is trying to do that in this division now is you're still gonna end up third.
Yeah.
And so now you're talking about whether or not you can get the wild card, or if somebody else knocks you out of the wild card, somebody else has maybe a little bit better record or something like that. So if the Cowboys can get 10 wins, 11 wins, that I don't think that's going to be enough in the NFC to get even second place.
No. I agree with that. I don't want to say too much because we're going to talk about the other stuff.
A little over under. We're gonna do a little over under with everybody here because Fanduel put out some of the new numbers after the draft. So we're gonna look at that. We'll touch on that in a second. But that's my thing, man. I just think that this might be a little bit of a too little too late situation, and it's
like the moves that they've been doing are like 2 years behind Philly and Washington. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to catch up, but they're taking one step forward and one step back. Like they're getting nowhere. While we take 2 steps forward, one step back. You know, it just Jerry needs just to go
one step forward. But here's the thing. I was about to hit you with some Paula Abdul, but I stopped. And I've discussed this with my old man a bunch. As much as people love fucking with Jerry, and maybe the last 2 years or so, you can really lay some stuff on Jerry. But honestly, for the last 25 years, Jerry Jones has consistently put on paper, one of, if not the best rosters out on the field. He has. Yeah. As a general manager, Jerry Jones has not been terrible.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately either locker room chemistry, bad head coaching, just things not working out. Like, that's the thing. If you had Bill Parcells in his first couple years there in Dallas, but he didn't have to do, he didn't have to deal with Quincy. He could have went with Tony instead. Now, he ended up putting Tony in there eventually, but, they went to Bledsoe at the end of his career. You had Quincy there, and then had Romo. But, like, if he had all that time with Romo, maybe the Cowboys get where they are. But then Parcells had to leave, and then you put in Jason Garrett, and he just wasn't the guy. And then I think that's the mistake that Jerry made, not on a roster point, but on a head coach point. Because Dallas had all that talent for all those years and couldn't get over the hump. And it was clear to everybody that it was Jason Garrett was feeling like he just didn't have the right motivation or right schemes or anything. All he had was on the sideline, just hey, all right. Oh, they got an interception. All right, that's all right. Well, we'll deal with like he just never seemed to have that. And then by the time he got rid of Jason Garrett, and then what was it, Mike McCarthy? Like it just never seemed to like that. It's been just missed steps here, and whether getting the roster with the right coach or the coach with the roster, and now we're at the point where it's just kind of a mishmash, kind of as with the Cowboys. But as far as player personnel, I think Jerry has been very good as far as evaluating talent and getting that talent on the roster. It's been some other stuff he's been able, not been able to do. And again, a lot of it too let rest at the feet of the players who would fold in big moments.
But like that, like you said, he was good at evaluating players. But like he also says, like it came to locker rooms type stuff. Like that's part of the evaluation too. You should know, like listen, this guy, he can go off at any moment, but he is a very good player. It's like we always talk about the bullshit to.
Yeah, but to that extent, Jerry's always kind of been the guy who's like, hey, we'll take somebody who's off.
Yeah,
we'll take somebody who maybe is seen by others as a problem, but he'll work here because he'll have the star on the helmet, and that means more than anything. Like I think that's why he loved and still to this day loves Dion, and things like that. Other people saw Dion as very talented, but a headache, and very talented, but a headache. But Jerry was like, I love the headache. He loves that. I think Jerry loves the headache. I really do think he does. I think he likes the people who are off, who are one of one, who are a little different. And that just it worked in the early 90s, but then again, that's when you had all the talent in the world and the right head coach. And then you saw he got rid of the right head coach, and they were able to get to the Super Bowl based just on the talent of the players. Because Barry Switzer was not a Super Bowl winning head coach. I'm sorry, he's not. He never was. He's But he was his old friend from Arkansas. But since then, they've never been able to put the good roster with a good coach. Like they had Parcells, and then it was the quarterback situation wasn't great. You had Quincy Carter, you had Drew Bledsoe at the end, you had all that kind of stuff. Then you have Parcells right when Romo's coming in, then Parcells gone, then you have Jason Garrett in there. Jason Garrett with Romo and Dez and Zeke and like all this other talent that you had there, and none of that ever worked. And then you finally get rid of Garrett, and then you have Dak fall into your lap, which is good, but then Zeke isn't great.
Yeah,
Dez is gone. Then I think it's like a year or two gap before CeeDee Lamb comes in, and then you get Micah Parsons on that defense, and you have DeMarcus Lawrence on that defense, and the defense looks good, but the offense is doing things, but the offensive line is great. And just things like that, but the coaching doesn't work, and then you lose some of the offensive line. And last year we saw what happened with Dallas; they absolutely collapsed, and then Dak gets hurt. It never seems to work out. But they do, like I said, I think Jerry has overall over the last 25 years. Yeah. I think he's been a decent GM. I don't think he's been a bad GM. Maybe that's a hot take to some of the people out there. I don't know, but it seems like that. Speaking of hot takes, ELS in the chat saying he has a hot take, and he thinks that the Cowboys will finish last in the NFC East behind even the New York Football Giants.
See, ELS, even though your Green Bay Packers are stupid for trying to stop.
Boy, you are not going to let that go, are you?
That's fine. That's all right, because we got a defensive tackle that is going to be our fullback, and we're going to bring the fullback back to the NFL.
Listen, we got Scatterboo, baby. You want to talk about fucking bringing fullbacks in? That motherfucker's going to be great. I can't wait to see him play. I can't wait to see him play for the Giants.
Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, when I messaged you, I was like 60% being serious. Obviously, I was joking and everything like that, but I could see, like, other than adding Pickens, who else did Dallas add? Like they're just rerunning it back. And if you don't add, like if you don't add or try to improve your team, you actually get worse.
Well, they added. They got Pickens. It's more than they did last season.
And the funny part about this too was before the draft, I remember Jerry Jones saying, "Yeah, man, we got a couple big trades in the works here. I pray this is not the big trade."
Well, I mean, it's big. It is a big trade. It is. I think the question that a lot of people had was just the fact that the Steelers took only a third. Like,
I think the Steelers won this trade.
Really? That's it? Because the feeling I'm getting off of the twits and of social media in general, from Steeler fans and general NFL fans alike, is like, man, only a third? That's all you could pull for this guy? You know?
He's a
So,
headache, but I really thought the Steelers, the fifth round, whatever. I mean, by the time you hit fifth round and on, they're all a crapshoot. I know you believe the whole draft is a crapshoot, which kind of is. But that
it always is.
Round,
Yeah,
you should be able to draft eventual starters, if not day one starters.
In the third round.
Yeah.
ELS says to Jerry Jones' tiny dumb brain, he thinks this is the best trade in existence. First of all, I think ELS might have a bias against the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, it is Green Bay.
It is Green Bay. Well, listen, you're Philadelphia and I'm New York, so I mean, it's none of us here really like the Cowboys. Let's put that out there right now. I'm trying to be a little bit more neutral. Trying to keep a standard of journalism here on Stay Tuned Sports, as
fuck
we
Dallas.
do. What?
I said, fuck Dallas.
I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny that my feelings are also fuck Dallas. I don't know. But, I fucking hate the Eagles, too, so I don't give a shit. Although some Eagles news today, Dallas Goedert staying in Lincoln Financial Field. He decided to restructure his contract, and they're going to run it back in 2025. So there were some questions about whether or not he was going to get traded. Howie said that he did get a lot of calls about Goddard during the draft, and but they've decided to go ahead and just restructure the contract and make it work all better for the team and for him, and it all just kind of works out. So, yeah. So the Eagles kind of keeping everything together, plus improving in some spots. And again, that's what I'm saying, man. It's the NFC East this year is going to be hard to advance in. Like I said, even like the Cowboys trying to make those trades and moves to improve, and they might improve overall, but is it going to be enough to do it in that division? I think that's going to be a little hard. One or two other things I do want to talk about here. Have you watched any of the NBA or Stanley Cup playoffs yet?
NBA, fuck no.
Dude, I'm going to say this. Normally, I'm kind of with you. I'm not a big basketball fan. Well, I'm not a big NBA fan. I do like college basketball, March Madness, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Not usually a big NBA fan. However, there have been some fucking bangers of some fucking NBA games in this playoff so far. I think it was last night, the one that happened with the Pacers and Cavaliers, Tyrese Halliburton, and the Pacers, I think with 11 seconds, were down 6 points, yet still somehow came back and won the game. Not in overtime, in regulation. Fucking insane. Like, really insane shit. Great stuff.
I do want to say something about the Pacers, and this was probably definitely not last game, probably the game before, with the confrontation between Halliburton's father and
Giannis, yeah, Antetokounmpo.
First off, I know your son is a high profile, up and coming superstar. Why is your ass down on that fucking court? Get it up in the seats, root from up there.
Because the game was over. They were on the court. It was over. It was done.
I'll give what how do you pronounce his name?
Just call him Giannis.
John. Okay, I give him so much credit for not just going dink and just pop him. Like I would have popped him. Right in the.
I know, but you have a problem with violence and anger, so you got to work on that. That's something you got to work on. I just as a friend, as me to you got to work on that.
That's why I race Fridays. When someone gets close to me, I go think. They are hurting your think.
I used to have that problem too. Now I have these.
They keep me ask HR if I could have them.
No. It's no. I know. I think that's a definite no in your job. Even I know your wife is interested in that too, but she's like, I can't do it in my job, in my career. I was like, that sucks. For me though, man, oh yeah, no, I used to be a lot angrier. Jimbo knows how I used to be. I was not a happy guy. I was not a happy guy. Now, look at me smiling all the time. Just call me old smiling. ELS says, that F the Pacers. As a Bucks fan, that's the most disrespectful shit I've ever. Actually, I'm imagining he meant to say ever seen, but I think he was so angry he forgot to put the scene. I get it. I get you. And as far as the Stanley Cup playoffs go, Blues, Jets, Game 7.
Okay.
Holy shit. You want to talk about the Blues are leading. Clock is ticking down. 20, 19, 18, 17. Jets obviously pulled the goaltender. They're just peppered in at 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. The Jets fucking score. Tie it up with like 9 point something seconds remaining in the game, in the series. It's Game 7.
Yeah.
So they go first overtime, nothing. Second overtime, Jets scored. The Jets were 9 seconds away from being eliminated. And then win the game, win the series.
Wow.
And have moved on. That is why nothing beats the Stanley Cup playoffs. Stanley Cup playoffs is amazing. I'll tell you what, normally I love shitting all over the NBA playoffs. There's been some fucking bangers. There's the Knicks upsetting Boston in Game 1. That is pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, that's what I mean. So all of a sudden, it's like, all right, now I might start peeking in on a little bit on the NBA and see what's going on. You know, so excited by that. Again, we're kind of putting out the perception that, like, man, when football season's over, man, everything's fucked. Oh man, well done. But we do have March Madness, which we did go through. We have here the NBA and NHL playoffs, which are really, really good this year. Really looking good. There is stuff out there for us to watch and for everybody out there to watch. Good shit. So, definitely start watching that. Definitely start enjoying that. And now, finally, something else I wanted to talk about here. Because I saw this come over the feed, and I was like, ooh, that's something we can do on a show. That seems pretty fucking interesting. Let me switch over here to our vertical orientation. Graphics, dynamicism. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here at Fanduel. Went ahead and they put their over and under for wins this year for the NFL. They all got updated after the draft. So this is what Fanduel currently has as their over under wins for the year. Let's start with the AFC.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the NFC. So bring the AFC down here. 2025 win totals via Fanduel Sportsbook. We have all 16 AFC teams up here. And right now, if we look, there are 3 teams at the bottom that have the same amount. FanDuel says that the Browns, Jets, and Titans all are going to win 5.5 games. They have them 5 in the hook for the games. So let's start. Browns, under, over, 5.5 wins. Jimbo, over, under.
I'll go under. Because I think 5 is more the spot that they'll hit.
I'll say over because I think it's 6. So not great either way, but I do think they get to 6.
How many of those games does Shadir win?
Shadir. Man, you win pronunciations today. Not great. Going to Perkins for Shadir.
I've gone up since 2.
I think he's gonna be starting towards the. I think Flacco starts the season. But I think if they get another starter, it'll be Shador. I think so. I think it's going to go from Flacco to Shador. It's not going to go to anybody else they have there. ELS gives the Browns 3 wins, so he says under.
Okay.
Jets, 5.5.
Jets. I'm gonna say, oh, it's Justin Fields. I'm gonna say under because I was like, who's their quarterback, who's their receiver, and it's Justin Fields. I mean, Fields could win some games, but that team is just terrible.
Boy, you really just went in depth on something that didn't need it. Under. That's all. That's Jets under. Titans, 5.5 with their brand new quarterback, Cam Ward. Jimbo, over or under?
I'm gonna say over.
Under. It's a first year. He's obviously going to be starting. I don't know if he's got the again, I don't think this was a great class for quarterbacks in the NFL this year. I don't think he is a Jaden Daniels. I don't think he is a Stroud. I think it's going to take them a little bit of time. They don't have a lot of pieces around them. ELS says over for both the Jets and the Titans, by the way. Okay. Raiders, 7.5 with Geno there and with Pete Carroll now at the helm as head coach.
I'll go over just because I think. Oh boy, that's right. I'll just say over. It's over.
I agree. I think it's just over as well. I do. I think they get at least 8 with Genty, with Geno Smith, and with Pete Carroll there. I think they're good for 500. So 8 or 9. I think you're good with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Jaguars, 7.5. I'm saying under.
Yeah, I'm going under.
I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence has to make me believe again. He has to make me believe that he's not Daniel Jones South.
That one was a surprise one for me.
Patriots, 7.5.
I wish we could
with Drake May there. He's got a new offensive lineman who's going to fucking murder and die for him. So that's pretty good.
Everybody believes Vrabel. I'm going over. I'm saying over.
Again, I see them kind of like the Raiders at 8 or 9. I think they're making progress. I think they're moving up. I got to be careful with how I move my arm there. Oh boy, whoa, boy, I'm gonna get canceled real quick. I think they're. There's no way to do that. There's no way to do it without looking bad. But I do. I think they're on an upward trajectory. Yeah, they are definitely on an upward trajectory. The Indianapolis Colts at 7.5. Over under.
I'm going over.
Daniel Jones is giving them 13 fucking wins, baby. Daniel Jones is bringing them to the division title. He's bringing them to the conference championship game. Oh, baby, the Colts are going all the way this year, led by Danny Dimes himself, Daniel motherfucker Jones.
I mean, I was being serious, and I was thinking more of a 10-win season.
I honestly do think they'll do well this year. I do. But so I go over for the Colts as well. Dolphins, 8.5.
I'm going under.
I'm going under. I don't think this is a good year for the Dolphins. Now, again, if we look back at last year and how we predicted and thought things would go, remember we said the Bills were done, the window's closed, there's no way they're making it. So take that. And we all said, oh, the Dolphins are going to take over the division. This is the Dolphins division now. And then they sucked. So now they're like the Dolphins, they might be a middling team. And we're like, they're going to suck. They're going to be so bad. But, maybe we'll be right this time. I don't know. Steelers, 8.5. With still everything in flux, Steelers at 8.5. I'm wondering if they're doing this under the assumption that Aaron Rodgers goes there and plays, or if after Aaron Rodgers signs there, the odds will change. I don't know.
I will laugh if Rudolph wins like 12 games this year, just for all you guys. No, I'm going under. Even if it's Rodgers there, I still think it's an under.
I'm not sure what else they have offensively, or if there's anybody else out there offensively that they can get. Rodgers to Metcalf would look good, and unless they pull off like a midseason trade, maybe something happens. Maybe they do get Lazard eventually. I don't know. But 8. You tell me that the Steelers are going to win 9 games with the roster they now again. Defense is still there. So the defense is good, although that defense kind of fell apart at the end of last season. The last 5 games, they looked like shit. So that's a concern. That's something you have to look out for. And can TJ Watt stay fucking healthy?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for now until Aaron signs. If we're working under the assumption that the Steelers don't get Aaron Rodgers, it's under for me. I'm going under. Texans at 9.5.
I'll go over. I think they have a bounce back year.
That defense still worries me, and I don't know. I think Stroud does have a better year, and he's gonna have Tank back. He's gonna have Nico there. Doesn't get Stefan's gone, so he only got to really spend like 4 games with him. But so that's to me that doesn't really impact whether or not they'll win or lose too many. I honestly think under. I think they're good at 9. I just there's something about that AFC South that's still iffy to me. I think it's them and the Colts that are gonna still battle it out there for who's the mediocre division champion. But I'll go with under. Chargers 9.5.
I'll go over.
Over.
I could see a 10.
Over.
Spot.
I think they're making strides. This is Harbaugh's second year. I think it's an over. Bengals 9.5.
This one surprised me, as being too high. So I'm going under.
Just based on Joe Burrow, I'll give him 10. So I'll give him an over. I think they get to 10. They're going to have to show that they want to commit to the defense a little bit. And we'll see. They have all their offensive weapons there. They got big paydays for the receivers. Joe Burrow's, I mean, is in my mind, I still think he was the MVP last year, even though the Bengals didn't make it to the playoffs. God, if they did, he was the MVP lock. Yeah. I'll say over by a half. I'll say they're over by the hook. Broncos 9.5.
I'll go slightly over.
I'm going to go way over. I think the Broncos are the team that can dethrone the Chiefs this year in the West. I think the Broncos are that team. You got Sean Payton. Bo Nix at the end of last season was, again, very on the rise. He was getting better, and now you have a whole other offseason, made other improvements. That defense is, boy, they got a no-fly zone in that defensive secondary going on. I like the Broncos for a lot more. Bills 11.5.
I'm gonna go under.
I'm gonna go over by the hook. I'm gonna say 12. I think they get over by the hook, so I'm gonna say they're just over, which is gonna be far enough to win the AFC East again. Ravens 11.5.
I'm gonna. Oh boy, now screw it. I'm gonna say under, but
over.
It's a 11 wins.
I think it's over. And it's again, I think the AFC North is good, and they're good at beating each other up. But the Ravens are always good for putting together 12, 13, 14 wins a year, and then flopping in the fucking playoffs. But that's Ravens football, baby. That's Lamar Jackson football. And then the Kansas City Chiefs 11.5 over under. Jimbo, what do you got?
What's yours? I want to see what yours is first.
Mine?
Yeah.
Under.
Really? All right, because I mean, I was gonna say under,
and they were 15-1 last year. Well, 15-2 because they threw the last game, but they really only lost one game last year when they were really trying. Yeah. So it's kind of a shock to say that.
That was another one I thought was a surprise. It was so high. I would have still went under if they did 10.5, but I think it's a 10-win season.
ELS agrees. He thinks the Chiefs are under. He thinks the Ravens are also under. He thinks the Steelers, Colts, and Patriots are all under for their win totals. He thinks that the Jaguars, Raiders, Dolphins, Texans, Chargers, Bengals, Broncos, and Bills all go over. Interesting. And of course, he thought the Titans and Jets go over as well. Very interesting. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go to the home conference. Our home conference, the NFC, and see what we got there. And there it is. The New York Giants Last place, they have him with the 5.5 wins. Jimbo, over under for the New York Football Giants.
I'm being completely serious. Over.
Well, listen, if the Giants don't go over, everybody's fired. So, I mean, that's if and we're being serious here. You know, Mara's already said short leash. So, like I said, if the Giants go 2-7, 2-8, and we get to week 10, 11 at that point, and it's like, okay, I think Shane and Dable are gone. That being said, I think the Giants, they have made a lot of moves. A lot of them are clearly bridge and temporary moves, like we look at Russ and Jameis and all that. But I think it's enough that they're going to have over that. I don't know how much over. I'm not going to sit here and try to say it. I think it's at least 6. Clearly, if I think it's over, but I think the Giants do go over. Panthers 6.5.
I'll go over.
I go over as well. I think they're improving. I think Bryce Young showed last year after he got benched and then went back. Boy, did he look like a different quarterback.
Yeah.
And he looked like a kid that all of a sudden was like, that's who they drafted. It just seemed like the benching helped him make it all click. Yeah. And I think the Panthers are, again, another team that's on the rise. I'm not going to do it again. I think they are on the rise. Also in the division, the Saints 6.5. I got that under. I'm sorry. I'm picking. The Saints are not going to be a good team this year. Sorry, Pecan. I'm very sorry. But I know you've donated a lot to us, and we love you and thank you for that. Boy, but do the Saints look like a fucking mess. Now, again, they got your boy, Kellen Moore, there as their new head coach. But I think it's going to take them a little bit to get stuff because, boy, again, salary cap hell and roster is hell, and it's not great there in New Orleans right now. So 6.5. You tell me that the Saints are going to win 7 games this year? That's a hard look for me, man.
Yeah, I'm going under. This was my first surprise of being so high. I would actually put them below the Giants at 3.5.
Some people, I don't. Again, I don't know if they'll ever go that low, but in the betting markets. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can buy into the Saints like that. Seahawks with Sam Darnold at 7.5.
I'll go over.
I do think they go over. I think they're going to be they're going to be in there in the West. The NFC West is always in flux. It always seems to be in flux. But I'll go with the Seahawks there. I'll say over. I think they win at least 8.
Yeah.
I think that's clear. And that's what I mean. If I say over, I'm saying at least the next minimum number is at least what they're going to get. Cowboys 7.5 as well.
I'm going over. Even though I just trashed them and said that, how they really haven't improved other than Pickens. This was my second one. I thought was a little low. Surprised.
I'll say over. I think they get at least 8. But like I said, if they're 8 and 9, it's still over. But it's not going to be great for the Cowboys. And I'm not saying they're going to get much more over than that. But 7.5. You know what? No, fuck that. I think they get 7 wins this year. I don't think the Cowboys are doing shit this year. Fuck the Cowboys. Cowboys win. I think the Cowboys win 7. I think they win 7 games, so it's still under. Fuck the Cowboys. 7 win season, and everybody there sucks. Falcons at 7.5 as well.
Again, I have to say I'm being serious with this pick because it's going to come across like I'm making fun of Hamster, but I'm going under and way under.
No, I think the Falcons. Here's the thing. I love what they're doing with their big fat juicy peanuts, and again they have weapons there that they've not been able to take advantage of. It feels like, especially looked at the end of the season, like there were flashes there when they put Penix in there, that there was flashes of what could be. And I feel like with another off season, I think the Falcons get over 7.5 wins. I'll put them at an over. Bears 8.5.
I'll go over. Just 9 wins, just barely.
New coach, offensive line. They've gotten some help for. I think they're going to do better than they did last year. Uh, if Caleb Williams can adopt to the NFL game more and work within Ben Johnson's system, I'll go over. So I'll say the Bears are again another improved team on the rise. Vikings 8.5.
I'll go over.
Think JJ McCarthy's going to give him a little magic. He's going to go a little bit over there. I think they're
Here's
over.
the thing, like,
What's that?
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say.
Like any, and this goes for AFC. Any team that's at like 8.5 over under for wins is average, and 9 wins is still average. But I think JJ gives them that little bit to be slightly above.
I think they're just there. I don't know if they become a playoff team, but I think they get 9 wins. I don't know if they're going to have the season they had last year. Again, great defense, great defensive coordinator. You know, you still have Justin Jefferson there, so that's nothing to sneeze at. You have Addison there. You know, you have you have Aaron Jones there. You have all those pieces. They're there. If JJ is half the quarterback that they hope he is, I think it's at least 9, could be more, but I think the Vikings at least get to 9. Cardinals 8.5.
I'm going under.
I disagree, and again, a lot of people are high on the Cardinals this year, and I'm finding it hard to disagree with them. I think the Cardinals are going to be that team that people look at and are like, as the surprise team, as a team that was kind of like an also-ran, not in anybody's real view as for what they're doing, but they're going to come out of the gate. They're going to be high flying. They're going to be a real team to worry about. Again, I've always liked their defense. They've retooled them. I like that, you know, Marvin Harrison is in his second year. Kyler Murray seems to be more focused on what he's doing, and probably best for him that they delayed GTA 6 until next year. You know, I know he's a big COD fan too as well, so we have to still worry about that, but at least you don't have to worry about Grand Theft Auto. I think the Cardinals are a surprise team. I think not only are they over 8.5, I think they're way over 8.5. Okay. Packers 9.5. ELS been waiting for this one. Jimbo.
Way under. They're lucky if they win one game. And that one game is probably when they do the tush push just to say, okay, fine, we won. This was a surprise one to me. I'm going over. But I would have put this at 10.5. Even, I know they want the half there, but even 11. I would say that's where it should be.
I'll say this, and this will be my hot take. I think the Packers are over.
Okay.
But I think the Bears finish with more wins than the Packers.
Ah.
I think the Bears finish ahead of them in the division. That's just my... Now, again, that could change when we do our actual division predictions and read-throughs when we happen, so don't quote me on it. Don't hold me to it, even though I just said it publicly, and it'll be here for everybody to go back and look at. But I think the Bears will finally end this season with more wins than the Packers and finish ahead of them in the division. Buccaneers 9.5 over under.
I'll go over.
I think they're over too. I think the Buccaneers are good this year. I think they're the NFC South powerhouse, as it were. But I think they've only gotten better. I love Baker, and I love Baker. I really do. I think that team they have something special, and they're fun. They're just a fun fucking team to watch. And, dude, Cock Knott and Otten, man. Fucking Cade Otten, their tight end. Love that fucking guy. That guy is something special as well. Rams 9.5.
Under.
Over. Way over. I think the Rams are a Super Bowl contender this year.
You're nuts.
I think the Rams are 100% a Super Bowl contender this year. Washington football team of Redskin Commanders 9.5.
I'm going under.
You're fucking what? Get the fuck out of here.
Just because of the past few seasons, the trends of wow, this rookie quarterback's playing so well.
So you're thinking sophomore slump?
Yep.
No, I not only that, because it's the rest of the team. If they can fix that defense, even if he has a sophomore slump, the Redskins are going to be. But not only are they over, again, I think this is the problem when you look at the NFC East. Oh, the Cowboys might improve some, but boy, they're going to have to improve unbelievably so to jump either Washington or Philadelphia. I think Washington not only is over, I think they're way over. I think they're challenging the Eagles for the division when it comes down to it. Detroit, 10.5.
I'm going over. I think this is just a slightly too low.
You think it's I'm gonna be honest. I think maybe some of the magic starts wearing off. He lost his offensive and defensive coordinator, did Dan Campbell. I still think he's a great coach.
Yeah.
But if we saw a little bit of a slip last year towards the end of the season, and then to be one and done in the playoffs against Washington. I mean, that was something. Now, if they can fix everything, if they could, they could shore up, that's fine. But 10.5, based on a lot of unknowns right now for Detroit, I'm gonna go under. And again, if they win 10, that'll be something. But I don't know if they win the division this year. Again, they barely won it last year, and I'll put them at 10, but I still think it's an under for them because it's 10.5. So now here's when I think it's going to be a bit of a disputable one too. We're going to see, and we'll see. Maybe we're on the same page. The San Francisco 49ers, 10.5. Jimbo.
Cooked under.
I'll say this, and this is really the only one I have with a caveat.
Okay.
If everybody can fucking stay healthy,
And shut up.
Ayuk's gone, so
No, Ayuk's
Ayuk's gone and Debo's gone.
where'd Ayuk go?
Did he go Cleveland? I think I traded him to Cleveland.
I don't think so. I think Ayuk's still there.
No,
Debo
I could have sworn they traded him. Unless they hold on. Let me now I got to go look.
Yeah, because I don't remember that. I mean, granted, I've been up since 2 o'clock, so there's a lot of things I don't remember.
That's true. That's true. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, he still isn't for. I guess there were trade talks for him going there, but they didn't actually do it. Okay. So, but from what I understand is like he's demanded a trade, or that the Niners said they are going to trade him or something like so.
Okay.
My understanding is by the start of the season, Brandon Ayuk is not going to be a 49er.
Okay.
So that was the assumption I was working under. So okay, so that's my bad. All that being said, well, even if he's there, if he comes back from an injury and he's good, if the Niners can stay healthy across the board, offense, defense, special teams, I'll go over. But if they're the 49ers, and again, with the 49ers, it seems to be every other year. Super Bowl, injury-laden year where they're fucking terrible. Super Bowl, injury-laden year where they're terrible. So, based on that oscillation, this could be a Super Bowl year for them. Could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, if everybody stays healthy, over. If they have another season like last year where everybody just gets hurt and it's just the worst thing in the world, not only is it under, boy, is it way under. So that's where I'll go. And finally, the Philadelphia Eagles, 11.5. That's a big number for an over-under. Do you think the Eagles continue their fly, Eagles, fly all the way up to the top of the mountain? Or do they fall down ever so? Put the fucking pennant away. It's not fucking baseball. What are we doing here? So do you think the Eagles continue on their winning ways and defend their Super Bowl championship properly? Or do they have what happens to many teams, a Super Bowl hangover, and maybe not do as well this year to let the young and hungry Washington Redskins come up and take the division?
Yeah, no, I mean that's not going to happen with the Redskins. But we do have the 5th hardest schedule.
Finally, after last year's easy ass fucking schedule,
we had the 4th hardest schedule last year. I'm going under.
Giants had a harder schedule than you did.
The Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys were all boom, 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 right next to each other.
No, the Eagles I think had like the 3rd easiest schedule or something.
Well, then the Giants and the Cowboys were right there because I remember seeing all 3 of them were right there.
Well, that's just because you're cross-eyed or something. I don't know. You blinked out for a little reason. A little too much JMO that day. I don't know.
I have it under, but I still think they win 11 games.
You have it under and only winning 11, but even with only 11 wins, winning the division.
Yes.
Interesting. I have them over. I think they're the Eagles right now. They didn't really lose anybody off of last year's team.
We lost Britton Covey. Super Bowl winning kick returner.
And they've added some pieces, and they still look. And of course, as always, Saquon is there. That offensive line is there. The fucking defense. As much as I hate to fucking say it, like the Eagles won what 14 games last year, 13, 14?
14, maybe even 15. But yeah,
because I think they only had what 2 or 3 losses.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at the same thing this year, if not more. You're looking at 15-2, 16-1. I really do think that. I think the Eagles are going into this season, as much as I fucking hate it. I mean, they are the team. Relax, fucking Hogan. I do. I hate to blow smoke up the fucking Eagles' ass, but boy, of AFC, NFC, both conferences, you can put them all together. Find me a better team right now than the Philadelphia Eagles. You're going to be looking for a while. I can't see, unless there's a total fucking collapse, unless the manure goes wrong, unless the flower bed gets flooded out. I don't know, but it's going to take that. It's going to take Nick Sirianni shitting in somebody's fucking gym bag to really kind of, I think, fuck that up in Philadelphia. So there we go. There's our over-unders there. That's from Fanduel, by the way. Fanduel helping us out there with that. Big thanks to Fanduel. And by the way, Fanduel, if you want to sponsor us, that would be fantastic because we need fucking money. So let's. I said, why is that still up there? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Why is that there? Let me go back to this. That's not supposed to be there. Wait, hold on. Why is that still there? I'm just fucking around now with the graphics because it's like it's staying on the screen when it's not supposed to be there. OBS sometimes is fucking weird, man. I don't get it. I don't get it sometimes.
The good-looking one on the feed there. You covered up the Taylor Swift-looking, one.
God, I hate you. I really do. Why are we friends? I don't know why we're friends. I really don't. You're an Eagles fan. I'm a Giants fan. We're both kind of assholes. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Honestly, it's Notre Dame. Notre Dame's the only reason we're friends. Still, I think to this day is the only reason we're friends. Jimbo, all of this stuff that we talked about. Oh, we didn't even get to go to Belichick and Jordan yet, but we will touch on that giggity another day. Maybe we'll do a standalone video about that whole fucking situation, boys. Boy, oh boy, is that interesting. Any other thoughts before we get the fuck out of here today? Because it is white people taco night in this household, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, you look like you're jumping out of your seat.
Dude,
there, so.
I need some fucking white people taco night. I got my carb-free fucking tortillas. I got my Ortega fucking taco mix. We are sizzling like a couple Caucasians in this house today.
You're ready to
I'm ready, dude. The night is on a upward trajectory, and this is as far as my arm is going.
That's all I gotta say.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I don't know why I sounded like a sheep there for a second. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today on Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much for joining us. If you liked anything of this fucking retarded ass show, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Those are free things you can do if you want to help us out a little bit more. Links for our donation station and merch store are in the description below this video. We got stuff there all the time. The merch store is getting new stuff. So if you just want to donate or if you want to buy something, all that's there for you. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, for your good friend Jimbo right over there, I am your boy King. This has been Stay Tuned Sports. Adios, everybody.